I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam, bam. Me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that like she scored 30.
What are we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here.
Shoo! We talking about sports, baby. Special MMA edition. You know, we like that football. You know it's football season. You know baseball's on right now. But look who I got. Look who's here. Big Pat 44 and J Mart 8242. Move over, Joe Rogan. Move over. Move over, Dominic Cruz.
That's why Rogan went on that hunting trip, Ron. Because we were stepping in this weekend.
Move over, Stephen A. Don't be putting Stephen A on the pay-per-views, bro. You got to call these guys right here for the pay-per-views. But what's up, guys? Welcome everybody who's watching. Special little segment here. It's going to be about a little 20-30 minute show. We all put our heads together and we all decided to call it the We Talking About Sports Tap Hour, baby. So roll it. Shoot, that got me psyched. Roll it again, Justin. Roll it again.
One more time for that.
Yeah, hey, the second time I caught
the Stone Cold. It makes me want to do the Stone Cold.
The second time I caught the beers bouncing and filling up and foaming. So I'm
go.
glad we ran it twice.
Run with the edits, bro. Run with the edits.
Yeah, man. It's bringing a little flair to we talking about sports, man. And I'm glad that tonight we're going to talk about some fights, some chingazos, baby.
Yes,
Finally,
sir.
A pay-per-view. Justin, I know you mentioned it's been over a month, technically, since the last pay-per-view. Do you have the date on UFC?
August 7th was the last pay-per-view, and that was gone. And was it Biggie Boy or Derek Lewis for the championship?
Very underwhelming. Very underwhelming.
Yeah. Maybe that's why it seems like it's been forever, because of how underwhelming that card was for the most part.
And I was telling Gabby, though, I haven't really sat down and watched a whole UFC like since that last fight. So I'm pretty excited about tomorrow night. I'm going to plant myself on the couch and watch chingazos, drink some beer.
Hell yeah, boy.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. And you're going to have a special guest, right? Somebody's going up to visit you in New Braunfels?
Walangas is heading this way right now from the Valley. ETA, 9 o'clock. We'll see. We'll see if he gets here on time. But yeah, big weekend, man. Big weekend.
It's time, baby.
UFC 266 from Las Vegas, T-Mobile Arena, so that the crowd will be hyped for this one. And we got we got 2 title fights on the line, and we got the return of Nick Diaz. I know we're all Diaz brothers, fans. We like the way they carry themselves.
Stockton, baby.
And what they bring in the octagon. So we're looking forward to it, man. We're looking forward to it. We're going to get into these lines, give out some plays that we like, maybe some fights that we're just looking forward to watching and seeing how they play out. But without further ado, let's get into it, boys.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
Main card, right? This is strictly just main card play or main card fights that we're going to go over today?
Yeah, we're just going to go over the main card. We'll go over all 5 main card bouts. So, I usually I have a running joke on the podcast where I say, this is where you take the smoke break or this is where you take the dogs for a walk. But this is actually a pretty good bout between 2 women in the flyweight division. Both of these chicks bring it. We got Jessica Andrade, nickname Bate Estaca. Did I say that right, Justin?
Yeah, Bate Estaca.
Yeah, I didn't say it like I didn't say Jessica Bate Estaca Andrade because I didn't want to fuck it up. But
Queen of the OnlyFans.
Really?
She has made more money on OnlyFans than she has in her UFC career.
No,
she has paid off her house, paid off a car. I don't know, like, who's buying that content. There's a market for it.
There's some horny Brazilians, partner. That's the only thing. I didn't even know that she had an OnlyFans page. That's crazy. We're talking about the #1 contender in the flyweight division. Ex-champ of the division. But she's actually fighting somebody who I'd expect to have an OnlyFans. I ain't gonna lie.
I was gonna say, man, like this Jessica Andrade chick, I mean, she looks like she could kick some ass, but
she does. She can.
Cynthia Cavillo is the one who like might be showing some ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. At first, I thought Justin maybe had the names wrong. I was like, yo, we're not even to Cavillo yet, but Andrade has paid off her house and everything through OnlyFans. Damn it.
Heard a podcast that she was on, and she was talking about how much she's made over UFC. She might as well turn that into a career at this point. It's crazy
because she's been fighting for titles and title eliminators, over the last.
She's held the championship.
Maybe now Ben can get into the actual meat and potatoes.
I think that we're going to talk more about her OnlyFans.
Yeah,
we are going to talk about this breakdown. To be honest,
because I shocked y'all. Y'all didn't expect that, did y'all?
Justin just came out with the Masvidal flying knee, man. Right there.
Blindside.
But go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
Anyways, guys.
Sorry, Justin shook you up.
Yeah, he did. Definitely did. I don't even want to. I don't want to picture Andrade's OnlyFans. Number one contender, minus 250. I think she's a rightful favorite. I mean, she's done nothing but lose to champions or girls that are fighting for titles. Lost to Valentina Shevchenko, beat Chukagian, and I think that Calvillo is like a Chukagian, not necessarily in the same fighting style, but they're not really contenders. I think that they're more of just bodies that you need for a women's division. And it helps that Cynthia Cavillo is good looking. I mean, she's getting a fight against the number one contender coming off a loss, bro. And she lost to Caitlin Chukagian, unanimous decision. I don't want to do MMA math, but honestly, I think that Jessica Andrade is going to get her out of there. So I say forget the minus 250. I think that Jessica Andrade inside the distance should be good. There should be a pretty good line, if not plus money on that. And if not a parlay piece, I don't want to do it because it's a women's fight, but Cynthia Cavillo, I mean, she's going to learn that there's levels. I believe she's going to get rocked. She's going to get rocked.
I mean, I'm not the MMA guru the way you guys are, but this is like a huge step up for Cavillo. I mean, if you notice her last fight, it was a Fight Night 140, UFC on ESPN 1, ESPN 7, ESPN 10. Her last fight was UFC 255, which was a pay-per-view. But if you look at Andrade, I mean, she's just been doing nothing but pay-per-views and big cards. So she's used to those big lights.
Yeah. Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, Andrade comes from the underclass. I think this is strawweight. She was the champion there. She did lose to Rose Namajunas. She lost her belt at that point. But she was always big for the class. Cavillo does rely a lot on that jiu-jitsu. She does come with that, jiu-jitsu heavy style. But Jessica's style is pretty much can counter jiu-jitsu the way she's so physical and the way she's so big. I don't see a path to victory for Cynthia. This is just somebody, like you said, a body to fight because Jessica did lose to Valentina, the champion. So she needed someone to be active in the division and maybe get some wins before she can get a shot again at that title.
Her last 3 losses are all to chicks who were champs. I mean, Zhang Wei Li beat her for the belt, became the champ. Then she lost to Rose, who was the champ. And then she lost to Shevchenko, who was the champ. Cynthia Cavillo is not championship level. She's not championship caliber. And she doesn't have knockout power. If you look at her fights, she didn't win a fight by submission.
Draw, decision.
Yeah, but I mean that submission was back in 2018. So
what do you guys think?
That was when she did the whole. I'm not surprised. That was when she did that.
I mean, the line is only plus 190 for Cavillo, so Vegas doesn't have her as too much of an underdog. Do you guys see any way that she pulls this off, or what does she need to do to pull this off?
She needs to get the fight to the ground, and like Justin said, I think with Andrade's aggression and just her bully style, she's not going to get her to the ground unless Andrade, has a mental error and drops her, maybe follows her to the ground. But I don't see her get. Honestly, bro, this is one-way traffic, bro. Yep. Minus 250 in MMA, it's different because it's a head-to-head fight. So sometimes you don't mind laying, minus 200. If it's that lopsided, you don't really see a path to victory for another fighter. At minus 250, I'm not saying go and take this straight up, but it's definitely, I considered it for my parlay. I ended up going with 2 male fighters for my parlay just because I trust them a little bit more, but this is going to be one-way traffic.
Justin, I can see a finish here, though.
Yeah, that was my next question, Justin. If you were going to bet and you don't want to swallow the juice, that there is the the fighter to win and the way they're going to finish the fight. You know, like Andrade by submission, Andrade by knockout, Andrade by decision. What would you take if you had to take Andrade?
I'd be looking at knockout or TKO. I think she gets the stoppage. I don't think this is going to go to decision. I've seen Cavillo get touched up by lesser fighters that are not as strong as Andrade, and I don't think she can afford to fight the way she fights, that style against Andrade. So one-way traffic, like Ben said, if you want to swallow this juice, I mean, go for it. I think it's a lock at this point.
Okay.
Ron, sometimes the juice
is worth the squeeze, baby. Yes, sir.
Squeeze the juice on this one. I really don't see her losing, but let's
parlay it up. You'll get something.
We spent a little bit too much time on that fight.
Yeah, move on. We're good.
Next fight up, we got some heavyweights. Curtis Razor Blades minus 320, big favorite. Number 4 in the heavyweight division, coming up against Jairzinho, Biggie Boy, Rosenstrike. Number 6 in the division. Now, one guy coming off a loss, one guy coming off a win. Listen, we see minus 320 next to Curtis Blades' name. And then we remember the way he got knocked out by Derek Lewis. He got hit with that uppercut. And like delayed, fell straight back. I mean, it looked like a dead body. Before that, he was beating everybody, even finishing with ground and pound, against JDS and against I can't even say this dude's name.
Shamil Abdurakhimov.
Oh, he's coming up. That's Sharifah Raheem.
Okay.
The basketball player?
Yeah, he's a 40-year-old. Anyways, bro, I see minus 320. I see the way that he got knocked out. I see the way that he got knocked out, and we know Jairzinho's only path to victory is knockout. Yeah. He's not winning decisions. He's not, he's not subbing you. He's going to get a knockout or he's going to get dominated. I think Curtis Blades gets back on track. This is half of a parlay. This is one leg of a 2-leg parlay that I have on tonight's card. I do see Curtis Blades getting back on track. His last fight was February 2021. It's been about 7-8 months. It was a pretty bad knockout, but I expect him to get Rosenstrike on the ground early and often. And we've seen Rosenstrike struggle when he fights top competition, hence Francis Ngannou's Cyril Gane.
The 2 champions of the division.
Yeah. So I think that Curtis Blades, this is a fight that he wins. This is not, top 5 in the division that he'll lose to. So Curtis Blades, I'm going to take him as one half of my 2-leg parlay.
All right, Justin, what do you think on this fight, man?
Man, Ben hit it on the nail. There's only one path to victory for Biggie Boy, and that is the big punch. Curtis Blades, probably the best heavyweight MMA wrestler there is, because Olympic wrestling is different than MMA wrestling, as we've seen with Yoel Romero and Phil Davis. There's a big difference. Curtis Blades has that locked down. I don't see him finishing Biggie Boy, though. I think this will go to decision. I think Curtis Blades will lie on top and be boring for 3 rounds and get the W. I don't see him struggling here. And neither does Vegas, as you see, minus 320. Only way you can play this is through a parlay.
Yeah. All right. So you see maybe Blades by a decision, Justin. I think the over-under on this fight is 1.5, so maybe that's a look.
Yeah. If I'm betting this fight and I don't want that big juice, I'm going towards decision for Blades. He doesn't always get the ground and pound knockouts. As you can see, out of his last 5, 2 of them did come from decision, and he just laid on his opponent the whole time, and it was able to work because he's a good MMA wrestler. He's nonstop work, good cardio, and he was on a hell of a streak up until he met the person who fought for the championship last, Derek Lewis, with that nasty uppercut that Derek Lewis had, that wrestling MMA counter, like he likes to call it.
Over 1.5 minus 150. So Vegas agrees that it's going to go, they expect it to run a little deep this fight. The first round, you could see it being a feeling out process. Maybe Blades, does get one takedown and stalls there. And then all you need is 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go by in the second round, and you're cashing that. So that's a pretty good look.
Any chance Blades falls in love with the striking and actually decides to stand up with Biggie Boy?
Not after getting knocked out.
No chance.
And that was my next question. You just touched on it, the way that he got. I mean, obviously Derek Lewis is not Biggie Boy, But the fact that Blades got knocked out by Derek Lewis, who, as we know, is just likes to punch, is gonna knock you out.
Right.
Do you think that kind of plays into Blades' head and gives Biggie Boy that chance to just go out there and catch him one time the way that Derek Lewis did, or do you see Biggie Boy not having that opportunity?
The thing is, like with a person like Biggie Boy, I don't want to bet on that one shot. You know what I mean? Right. I really don't want to bet on that, especially in a 3-round fight. You know what I mean? And he should have lost to Overeem as well. I know he has a win over Overeem, but he caught him literally with 5 seconds left in the fight after being dominated. Curtis Blades is going to have to take the fight to the ground. I know Justin kind of alluded to, does he, fall in love with the striking? He did knock out, JDS, and I didn't even expect him to stay standing in that fight. But after getting knocked out the way that you did, I don't think that you're going to go up there and, stand with a guy that only has one route to victory, and it is by standing. We've seen Biggie Boy get taken down by Serial Gone or just out kickboxed. 3 rounds, Curtis Blades should dominate this. I do kind of like the overlook, though, at 1.5. Yeah,
that's actually not a bad play, because if you look at Biggie Boy's fights, KO, TKO, he did go to a decision.
When he loses.
Blades decision, TKO decision. So over a 1.5 might just be the play, man.
Yeah, and even that Overeem fight, I mean, it was a KO, but it was in the 3rd round, so it would have gone over as well. So I like Razor Blades, Curtis Razor Blades, as one leg of my parlay that I'll, finish up towards the end of the show when we get to the other guy. Yeah. And I also like the over 1.5.
All right, cool. What do we got next?
Oh, shit.
Already? We're getting to the meat and potatoes.
First fight of the main card.
I know we have these guys last 6 fights up on here. Some images that the producer man brought to us. But it doesn't look too good for Nick Diaz, though.
You don't think so?
Last 5 fights, a draw or what? A no contest?
No contest.
What happened there, Justin? Who popped for marijuana, or was that when
Nick Diaz popped for marijuana? 6-year suspension for marijuana.
It was off of the Anderson Silva fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that he's on the ground sleeping on him. Look, I'll just go first here.
Yeah, Justin, please.
It would be crazy. It would be crazy for one of us to really give a prediction on this fight, because we go back to Nick Diaz. 6 years ago was his last fight, and before that, he had a 2-year layoff. I mean, this guy's doesn't have the ring activity to make a really good prediction. We know what they're capable of, but are we going to get that sort of Diaz? We've had the interviews with Diaz. He doesn't seem like he's on his thing right now, his shtick. He's kind of off. I don't know. We saw some Instagram photos previously of him. Looked to be in really good shape. We saw the little shadow boxing on the video. Looks super out of shape now compared to those videos.
The cameras.
Yeah, so it's throwing me off. It's hard. It's hard to really decide how I would like to make a play on all this. But at the end of the day, it'll always be Diaz Army for me. And I gotta rock Diaz. Right? I just can't tell you how, but I'm rocking Diaz.
Justin, you were mentioning to me that the line had moved, right?
Yeah, he had opened up like maybe plus 105, sometimes favorites in some books that you looked at. And as of last night, it was plus 145. The line has moved down again. It's back to plus 125. The public is backing him a little more. But it is moving. This line has been volatile. It depends on where you bought it at.
My book right now currently has it at plus 132 for Diaz and minus 162 for Lawler.
It's moving.
I mean, we're talking about a guy who's had one fight in the last 8 years, but we do know that the Diaz brothers do not take a day off. I mean, these guys are in the gym, they're training.
Triathlons.
I mean, they smoke a lot of bud, but hey, it's if that's what the doctor ordered and that's their
for the cardio, it's just to help the cardio out.
It's just for the cardio. Robbie Lawler, I mean, he has 4 losses in a row. He
His
lost
against Donald Cerrone, bro.
I mean, he lost against Magny in 2020. And, I mean, Magny, if you look at Magny and you look at Diaz, I mean, you can't say that Magny's on another level either. I mean, I just think that we do have to give a lot of credit to Nick Diaz, man. I mean, at plus 125, if I have money that I've won for the week, I'm tossing it on Diaz. So that's where I stand on this. Yeah. And who doesn't want to see Diaz win anyway?
Maybe even a little
fun. Ron. It's always Diaz.
A little fun parlay piece, because you do have the plus 132 or that you said your book has, or the plus 125. So even if you put in a little 2-teamer for some beer money, lunch money, whatever it may be.
Why not?
Have fun with it. But that's the way that I think that I'm going to go with this fight. I will be on Nick Diaz, in some fun ways, not anything serious at all, just because of it's up in the air. But at the same time, he hasn't been getting his ass beat the way Robbie Lawler has. The 6 years that he hasn't fought. Robbie Lawler's been going through it. Nick Diaz does already own a win over Robbie Lawler. I forget the UFC number, or it might not even have been UFC.
It was UFC like 100 and some.
Okay, so this is a rematch. Nick Diaz did get the best of him, knocked him out. I mean, he completely stunned Robbie Lawler when they were in there talking shit to him. Lawler was pissed, it was a young Robbie Lawler as well. Now he's more seasoned. Yeah. He's taking this fight because he's the B-side. This fight was supposed to happen at 170 pounds. Nick Diaz and his team decided that he couldn't make that weight maybe. I'm not sure what happened, to Justin's point of him being a little overweight. But the fight got moved to 185 pounds 2 days ago, Justin?
Yes, and it might have been because, like he was saying in that interview with Brett Okamoto, that he doesn't like fighting in Nate Diaz's weight class. So it might have been that too.
Yeah, supposedly there's a report that came out on ESPN that Diaz is not happy about fighting Robbie Lawler. I don't know what the issue is, but
he thinks he should be fighting Usman, the champion, because he's already beat Robbie.
I'm a fan, but that's a little delusional.
Dude, it's just, and I saw this too. Fucking Robbie Lawler lost to Ben Askren, bro, in 2019. Yeah. So,
choke.
I think we're putting...
Controversial loss, Ron.
Controversial loss, but I know it's kind of like, fun and games, Diaz, but I mean, do you think Robbie Lawler is just done? I mean, is he another Cerrone that's just getting in there for the paycheck? And then you see a guy that like Diaz who says, I don't give a fuck if it's an exhibition fight. I'm here to win, and I'm gonna win. I think Diaz has that mentality, regardless if he's fighting in the street, in the backyard, in the callejon.
Kill or be killed for Diaz.
Yeah, kill or be killed for Diaz, man.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be coming back if he wasn't trying to win. So,
of course,
like I said, I'll have him maybe a little 2-team parlay, maybe a little bit more, a fun parlay, but I won't be, pressing hard on Diaz at all. I'm excited to see him back. I'm looking forward to it. He even said if he loses, he's looking to get back in there right away. I don't know what to expect, man. It's a 5-round fight. I think that the over could be the way. I mean, you got a guy who Robbie Lawler hasn't finished anybody in, 6-7 years, and Diaz isn't much of the finisher himself. And if he does finish, it's usually
punches and bunches
later in fights. Yeah, punches and bunches. So,
what's your final take on this, Justin? Before we get to the next fight,
it's always going to be Diaz Army. It'll always be. Okay. It doesn't matter who's in front. It's always that.
Nick, Nate, or Ben Diaz Army?
All three.
There it is.
Los tres primos.
Those are my brothers.
Yeah, so let's go Nick Diaz, man. Let's go Nick Diaz. But interested to see what comes of that. Please. Consensus, oi?
Consensus.
We just said we ain't going to press on Diaz. It's a fucking consensus now, man.
Yeah, well.
All right, another women's fight, guys. And we got a friend of the podcast right here on the screen as well. Shout out Josh. Took a picture with the challenger
in Houston.
In Houston when he was at that card. So not looking good for her, but Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko minus 1,600 favorite. That's not a mistake. Justin didn't add a 1 to that minus 600. It's minus 1,600.
Hold on. Did you say women's fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I gotta go take a piss break. I'll be back.
This is one where you go do that. I mean, minus 1,600, they ain't much to get into, man. Lauren Murphy's been in the UFC for a long time. She's on a 5-fight win streak. Yes, not the best competition, and she's been winning decisions and shit. She's going to get beat here. She's tough. I expect her to last. 3rd or 4th round finish for Shevchenko. Maybe a decision if she decides to lay and pray on her, but ain't much to see here. Take a piss or smoke during this fight and get ready for the main event.
Pause.
What do you got, Judge?
I was waiting for Justin because
her name is Lauren Lucky Murphy, and she's unlucky this weekend because she got to fight Valentina Bullet Shevchenko. I'm on the decision end on this, and there's a reason why I am on that, because she fights with a pattern. Let's look at her wins. Knockout, decision, knockout, decision, knockout. What's left? Decision next. That's the way it's going to go down. I'm going to ride. You know, the world gives you these signs. You got to follow the signs, Ben. And I see the signs being decision time.
Ben's trends. All right.
Ben's trends. That's exactly what this is.
Justin hitting a trend. All right, Justin, I'm going to take a look at it and lunch money. Fuck it. Shevchenko by decision. We look at her. She has a unanimous decision win. She has 2 unanimous decision wins, 2 out of her last 5 fights. Lauren Murphy's tough as hell, bro.
She's tough, bro. She's gonna be hard to get out of there.
Yeah,
you can easily see this decision.
She's gonna be taking chingazos. She's gonna be taking chingazos for 5 rounds. So.
Well, you got the lines moving a little bit here, guys. I mean, not much, but Shevchenko on my book is down to minus 1520, and Murphy's plus 905. You also have the over under 2.5. Under is minus 110, and the over 2.5 actually has a little bit more juice at minus 120. So it looks like Vegas. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Vegas is kind of concurring. I just used a Roland Samora, took it out of the bag. Big word of the day, Roland, the missing 4th horseman of the show.
4th horseman.
Ron with the ACT word or SAT word.
That's the Mercedes word. That's too much for us mission guys.
You know it, baby. Distinguished. No, but I think Vegas concurs with you guys. Over 2.5, minus 120 is the play if you want to take the over on this.
2.5? That's all it is? All right, we're over.
Over 2.5, minus 120.
Yeah.
Playing that.
Playing that?
I mean,
add that to my card.
On decision, you're looking at about plus 400, I think, for decision. They usually don't come out till the day of. I don't have a number on Shevchenko by decision. But over 2.5, that's official, Just?
Yeah, I'll play that.
I would. You know what? I think I got a little space here on the board.
Just throw it on the bottom. Shevchenko.
I ain't gonna write. I ain't gonna fucking write Shevchenko. She got a nickname.
Bullet.
All right.
Bullet. Make it gangster.
She has that big Glock on her back tattooed.
Bullet over 2.5. Yeah. For today's tap
consensus play of the day.
All right.
Every time he says, you know what's coming.
Hey, let's get to the event, man. Let's get to the
Let's get it. Let's get to the main card. The main event.
The 2 lamest coaches in Ultimate Fighter history. These 2 cornballs. Alexander the Great Volkanovski, the champ, minus 185 favorite against Brian T. City Ortega, plus 145 is the comeback. Are you all a fan of either of these guys?
I'm a fan of Ortega.
Ron, are you familiar with either of these guys?
I mean, he's Hispanic. You know, I've seen some of his fights. I mean, I love that he reps it. I mean, you don't see a lot of Hispanic, guys. I mean, you see a lot of Brazilians. You know, I mean, I don't know if you classify them as Hispanic. You know, Latinos, whatever the case is. But he does represent Mexico, and I mean, I know who Brian Ortega is, and yes, I know who Volkanovski is too. But am I pulling for somebody in the fight? Not really. Shout out to my boy Santi from work. I told him to watch the pod, and he said to take Volkanovski. So I'm gonna go with Volkanovski in this because Santi said so.
Okay, Santi.
Shout out Santi. I think that's the smart way to go. I just can't stand Volkanovski at all, bro.
Why, Cal? Let the world know. Let the world know, fellas.
Like, they were at the face-off, yesterday or the other day? He's like, you shouldn't even be here, mate. You popped. I didn't even know that you popped. How the fuck didn't you know that he popped, man? It's been like 5 years since Ortega popped. Like, everybody knows that Ortega popped. He's just goofy. He's corny. He beat Max Holloway twice, and he shouldn't have won. He shouldn't have won the second time.
Exactly.
I was getting there. But,
you know me, I'm a Max defender. It gets to me every time.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the guy, man. He's more of a point fighter, and that's why I think that he is a minus 185. I think that he's going to be able to stay on the outside leg kick. It's going to come down to, I think, if Ortega can get him to the ground. We've seen Ortega, last time he fought for the belt, challenging Max Holloway, and Max Holloway put on a striking clinic. I mean, they put that on at seminars when they're trying to teach kids how to throw punches.
It was so bad, bro. It was so bad.
He dropped his team, went and got with a better team, and since then, he came back and beat the hell out of the Korean Zombie, and it was
striking was improved.
It was standing up as well. Improved striking. I think that this is still a step up from the Korean Zombie in Volkanovski. He's a smart fighter. He's just a corny guy, bro. I'm pulling for Ortega. I think that it's probably going to be a Volkanovski decision. I know that the over is at 4.5 or 3.5 rounds. Right, so I'm pulling for Ortega, but Volkanovski by decision.
Yeah, over 4.5 is juiced to 140, and then you have your under 4.5 at plus money at plus 110. Volkanovski is currently sitting at minus 185, and Brian Ortega at plus 155. So the lines really haven't moved much.
It's just going to be kickboxing from Volkanovski, I think, kind of keeping the distance. Justin, do you think that Ortega can get him to the ground?
Yeah, and I think Volkanovski doesn't want to be on the ground with him, but it's possible. I think Ortega's going to test that new striking that he has with the new coach. He did look very good against the Korean Zombie. But I want to talk about something that you brought up early, and that was the Ultimate Fighter. Has the Ultimate Fighter ever done so little for the hype of a fight that it did this past Ultimate Fighter?
Oh.
I mean, it was terrible. It was the worst Ultimate Fighter season ever, and it brought no hype for this. Normally, when we see an Ultimate Fighter, we're like, man, we can't wait for the coaches to go at it. It's going to be exciting. Yeah. These coaches couldn't even be in the same room together. You know, their double leg takedown on Wanderlei Silva from Chael Sonnen. We didn't see any of that. No breaking of the doors. It was a boring ass season.
Side note, what's the best Ultimate Fighter season for you guys?
I really like not Rose, but Joanna and the Brazilian chick. What's her name? I really like that season.
Who, Andrade?
Claudia Gadelha.
Oh, Gadelha.
Oh, okay. They were in each other's face. They hated each other.
I liked when Rampage was. I mean, Conor McGregor was a tough coach, bro.
I was gonna say Connor's when he just fucking goes at Dillashaw and he's like, "Hey, little snake in the grass. Hey,
that was a good one.
He left you for your team, huh? He left you for your other boys, huh? Little snake in the grass over here. He stole your coach.
Look at where it got from. I mean, this is champs and shit, but we went from McGregor. They had Rampage. They had Chael Sonnen. They've had Brock Lesnar. They've had the who's who. And then, Justin, they should have done Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling.
That would have been the hit because those guys cannot stand each other. And one has the other guy's belt that really belongs to the other guy.
And that would have been some use heat. A little bit more TV time as well.
A push.
Yes, they could both use a push for sure. That would have been way better than this bullshit.
Volkanovski.
There was a guy from the Valley on The Ultimate Fighter, and I still didn't watch that shit.
I just watched it because I'm so loyal. But here's the other thing, Ben. It's on ESPN Plus. The casuals don't got ESPN Plus to watch this Ultimate Fighter. They need to put it on the main network like it was back, Spike TV, Fox, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series has surpassed the fights in quality. When you watch a Contender Series fight, they're better than these Ultimate Fighter fights. That's just my opinion. So I don't know where the direction of the show is going to go, but T-City and Alexander, they dropped the ball carrying this show this year.
Could you see maybe Dana White's Contender Series breaking up into like two teams and then having the coaches kind of like do that just to kind of like, okay, Ultimate Fighter's done. It sucks. Nobody's watching anymore.
I mean, it would pretty much be the same thing. So
it would just go back to being
Ultimate Fighter. Ron, they had done away with the Ultimate Fighter, bro, and then they bring it back, and it's been pretty. What was it? They had one season before this, right, Justin, or no? Wasn't
Maurice Green was in the last season? Remember the heavyweight? He's already out of the UFC now.
So, but what's his name? Was never a coach? Gaslam. Gaslam was never a coach?
Yes, he was. He was a coach, but I just don't remember who he was.
I think that was the last.
Because it's been like over 2 years, so it's been a while since we got an Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
And I was hyped because I said, oh, ESPN's production, we're going to get a lot better production. Nah, man, these fighters, that's another thing. The fighters' characters, they were all friendly. No one was fighting in the like, no animosity here. Yeah, none of that stuff. They were all professional. And I don't want to see that in an Ultimate Fighter house. I want to see some Diaz stuff. When Nate's in there, saying who wrote that about 209. I need to fight them now. I need to see that.
There's more action in the real world house than the tough house, Judge.
That's what it came down to, and it did nothing for the show this year. It really did, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, not a big fan of either guy. Like I said, I like Brian T. City Ortega's girlfriend, bro. So I'm rooting for him. How about that?
Yeah, she's
Tracy
pretty hot.
Cortez.
You would rather her have an OnlyFans instead of Andrade?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You need to look up Tracy Cortez, Ron. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much wraps up the main card. I think, like I said, this one's going to be, I don't expect the funnest fight, but I'm pulling for Ortega, and maybe he can show us that his reach and his striking has really gotten levels higher. So
Get another win for the Mexicanos.
Well, it's Modelo time after that.
Let's see what happens if Ortega wins, because Max already has his fight booked versus the other Mexican, Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah, hey,
so let's see who gets next after TCD were to win this.
Holloway, Ron? That should be fun.
That's going to be great.
Hell yeah. I'm not a big Max fan, so.
Oh, you're not?
Damn, me and Roland are hardcore Max fans.
Yeah, overrated, boy.
I don't know many people who aren't Max fans. But anyways, anything else, guys? Maybe.
Nah, that's it.
Well, what do we got, Justin? We got anything else left?
We just got some early prelims. I know Ben is looking at some of these things here.
Yeah, well, on the earlier prelims, I actually had a play.
Yeah, these are just real quick to touch on it. These are the early prelims, guys, that are going to be free. So if you guys aren't going to watch the pay-per-view, or whatever the case is, you don't want to buy it, or you want to stream it, whatever. These are the early prelims, the ones that are on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, and I like somebody stands out here. Justin mentioned Dana White Contender Series. Udos, the Doctor Medic.
7-0.
Yeah, and fighting out of King's MMA, a known camp. I mean, this dude is pretty lethal. He's very calm in there. Killer left hand. Like I said, he got a contract on Dana White's Contender Series against Mikey Gonzalez. Mikey Gonzalez just fought last week and lost again. TKO there. Then he got on the Blachowicz and Adesanya, big pay-per-view card. Fought Alon Cruz, another Dana White Contender Series alum. TKO punches first round as well. He's a sniper, and the line's -120, -125. It should be around -160, -170. I like Medic a lot in the early prelims.
Medic, okay. He's currently at 125.
Yeah, love that.
And the over under is over 1.5 at -150, and the under 1.5 is plus money plus 120.
So his 2 UFC wins have both been, first round TKO KO. The under at plus money, Jalen Turner is pretty explosive himself as well. So, maybe he can win by finish as well. The under at plus money isn't a bad look, but I think Medic at -125 is a gift, to be honest.
All right. Noted. All right, there's no more room for it on the board, but Medic on the early prelims, guys.
Yeah. Justin, you like anything here on these other ESPN prelims?
Nothing that I'm willing to bet on, but there is 2 fights that I'm absolutely looking forward to. Dan Hooker and Nasrat Haqparast. And Marlon Moraes and Merab Dashvili. I want to see if Marlon Moraes can get this win. This is not an easy matchup for him. Mm-hmm. He was a contender at one point, on a very long winning streak till he finally met, I think it was Aldo that knocked him. And Merab Dashvili can really wrestle. I want to see if he gets that wrestling going. I'm looking forward to these 2 fights the most out of the prelims.
Yeah, man, and usually with the prelims, I mean, there's several times that it's happened where the prelims kind of outshines maybe the main event. Yeah. I mean, this is the prelims and the early prelims. These are the guys that are out there to get, to step up to the next level. These are the ones that aren't going to go in there to win the fight by points or to go up there and to try to get that title shot. These are guys who are going to go in there. They're going to bang. They're going to give everything that they have because they want to get to the pay-per-views. They're still fighting, on the free shows. So you see a lot of fucking badass fights on the prelims, man. A lot of bangers, a lot of fight of the night contenders.
Knockouts and that sort of thing.
Guys going for it, trying to get that 50 grand bonus, sometimes 75 grand. And to close out my parlay, I know I hinted that Curtis Blades was one half of my parlay. The other half of my parlay is Chris Dawkis. Chris Dawkis, man, at 11-3.
There he is, right there.
Yep, he's here on the prelims as well. And since joining the UFC, he's done nothing but knock people out. Him and his brother both got into the UFC, but he's actually looked good. I mean, not look good like in when you see him, because he has that heavyweight body that it's like, damn, can this dude really fight? But he's going to have the speed advantage. He's fighting Shamil Abdul-Rahimov or Abdul-Rahim, whatever his name is. Yeah. But he's 40 years old, hasn't fought since 2019. He's going to big speed advantage for Dawkins here. I expect the first or second round KO like he's been doing. Dawkins is legit. Dawkins is legit, and he's a smart fighter. He knows what he's doing in there. He's comfortable. So Dawkins and Curtis Blades parlayed.
I think you're
minus 110.
I think you're right on that, Ben, because he was at what minus 195. He's currently at minus 215. Yeah. So you got him. So you got him at the right time. And just like you mentioned, his brother is actually fighting on the UFC Fight Night, the Santos versus Walker coming up
next week.
Yeah, coming up next week.
Yeah, no, but Chris Dawkins is pretty legit. I mean, this isn't like we said. It's not pay-per-view main card fighters. But this is a guy that's very smart, and he's not a guy that I mind having my money on. If you can't parlay at minus 215 or 220, whatever he's at, I think that he's gonna do work here. I really like Dawkins in here on this fight.
All right, man. So those are the official plays for UFC 266, brought to you by We Talking About Sports. Euros Medic minus 125, Blades Dawkins parlay at minus 110, brought to you by Big Pat 44, who you can follow on Twitter. And just like you can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, guys, we're trying to get the subs up to at least 100 subscribers before the year is over, man. So if you guys could help us out, throw the likes, throw the comments, throw the shares. If we get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, we're going to do something special for you guys. And I'm really excited for it, man. We're bringing you guys as much content as we possibly can. We killed our Thursday show last night. I mean, besides UFC, what else do we do, guys? We do Thursday night shows for Thursday Night Football. We have a bye week this Sunday.
This Sunday we got to buy.
This Sunday we got to buy.
Our plays are out. Our plays are out. They're posted on social media. Get on them. We all went 2-1 or 3-0 last week with our plays. Like Ron mentioned on Thursday Night Football, I mean, we were all over the Texans not scoring points and the Carolina Panthers winning. I know that Christian McCaffrey got injured and it kind of threw a wrench
out of our control there.
In Roland's prop, but I mean, the way that the Panthers were moving, he was due for a night, man. It just so happens that he got hurt. Condolences to Christian McCaffrey.
Fantasy CMC owners.
Yeah, and also for this, those two plays are right there on the board, but don't forget Justin added the Shevchenko over. 2.5 rounds. Yeah.
Yes, Shevchenko over. So that's three plays that we have for you guys. UFC 266. We're gonna be trying to do recap of videos. So I mean, everything's full transparency here. I mean, if we lose, we put it up. I mean, if we win, we put it up, obviously. But if we lose, I mean, we put those plays up too. I mean, we're not. I mean, these are just free plays. Yeah, not that with this. I mean, we're not.
It's us versus the books, not each other.
This isn't a paid subscription. We're giving this out for free because we're all homies, and we all fucking love this shit, man. So, just follow us. We'll be giving out plays. Hopefully, they hit. If they hit, you'll know. If they don't hit, you'll know. So, regardless, man, we're in it to win it, and we're in to beat the books, man.
Where can we play these out?
Shit, you already know the list. BetKing Online, use code We Talking About Sports. It's the place to go. I wish we had the slide for it, but everybody has Twitter. So you log on to Twitter, go to the search box, type in BetKing Online. It's gonna pop up, and just let them know that the boys from We Talking About Sports sent you, man. And football's underway, baseball's underway. The postseason's coming around for baseball. I mean, dude, basketball's around the corner. I mean, it's time to get with BetKing. They do deposit matches. Whatever money you throw, they match you. I mean, they have crypto bonuses as well, too. So if you don't have, Feria that you want to throw in, but you're good in crypto, you're over here, Elon Musk style with the Bitcoin and the Doge. Hey, they'll accept that too, man. So hit them up, BetKing Online, and let them know that the boys from We Talking About Sports sent you.
Yes, sir. And the Survivor pool's in full swing as well.
Jeez.
I know the podcast entry survived last night with the Panthers, baby. Hey, Thursday night, and we're chilling. Hoping the fucking Denver Broncos lose, baby. So
we don't even gotta worry. We don't even gotta worry what happens on Sunday because we're 3-0 on the Survivor pool so far. We have to get that money, baby. So thanks to BetKing for that. for having that survival pool. It's incredible. $1,000 to the winner. It's sick, bro.
$1,000 prize pool broken down into first, second, and third place.
It's sick, bro. It's fucking sick.
It is.
And thank you for betting.
Sports will be cashing. You all can fucking guarantee that shit.
Take that to the bank.
Well, deuces.
Justin, anything else to say?
That's a wrap, baby. Over on the Shevchenko. That's a lock for me. That's gonna happen.
All right, coming up next shows, boys. What do we got? We're not doing Sunday, so we'll see everybody when
Thursday night.
Or maybe we can do something for Monday Night Football since we're off on Sunday. Maybe.
Okay. And who
you
do we
just
got?
gotta be on the socials, Twitter, Facebook. You're gonna find out when we'll be back.
It's Cowboys against Eagles. We gotta go on for Thursday.
We'll do something Monday night.
We'll be on Monday night. We'll be on Monday night.
All right. Hey, YouTube, man, go and subscribe because we do drop videos there too, little 4 or 5 minute videos. So be on the lookout, man. Tonight was fun. Let's get this UFC money this weekend. Everybody have a good weekend. Shout out to my sister. It's her birthday today. I love you, Fish.
Happy birthday.
And that's it. That's it for me, man. You guys got anything else to say before we go?
That's a wrap. Enjoy.
I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game, not a game.
Me. Bam, bam. Me, man.
Not a game.
Slap that like she scored 30.
What are we even talking about, man? We talking about sports here.